Welcome to another episode of Grade A Talks. It's your girl Ariel, the gracious, the well-informed, the nurse bae. I'm here to give a recount of September, and it has been a very dismaying September. So much has been occurring. We've had so many losses and just so many things happening. I'm just mind boggled at this point. But before I tap into those things and those events that have occurred, I want to hone in on some personal lessons that I've gained in September also. A couple of days ago, I was in the shower, and I don't know how you all are when you're in the shower, but for me, that's my me time. You know, I go in with issues, I come out with resolutions. That's just how I am. I do a lot of deep thinking while I'm in the shower. Sometimes I like to shower even in the dark. I'm telling you, it's a very cathartic experience for me. I feel like I release a lot of energy, and in return, I gain a lot of great energy after my shower. So I was in the shower the other day, and I said a prayer. And when I say this prayer, I'm always trying to build the strength up mentally for what I'm praying for. You know, they say, be very careful for what you pray for, because God will move very fast. He be moving expeditiously in my life, okay? So I'm in the shower and I'm like, Lord, please remove everyone out of my life that is not supposed to be in my life. I want you to approve of all my connections within my life. I don't want anyone having access to me that isn't supposed to be here, because you are the only person who is aware of everything I do not hear, everything I do not see, being that you are the all-knowing, all-being, omniscient God. You guys, again, be very careful what you pray for. It seemed like it was immediate. I started paying attention to certain things, certain spirits that were in my life. And you always have to remember that, you know, people aren't just human beings. That is an entity. That's a spirit inside of that person. And so when I did that prayer and I asked God to remove certain spirits from around me, you know, Lord, if this person isn't meant to be in my life, please, you know, dissociate me from them immediately. Like, I'm at the point in my life where I need immediate detachment from anything that does not have my best interests in mind, from anything that is disrespectful, distasteful towards me, for anyone who's in my face and then behind my back. You know, they're not a friend. They're not who they are, you know, portraying themselves to be while they're in my presence. Lord, remove these people from my life. I'm telling you guys, it was like a whirlwind. Like, I got whiplash. People started dropping like flies, and I was so thankful. And it's always the people that you never think would do it. It's always the people that you never expect. It's the people that you went out of your way to make sure that they were okay, and you were sacrificing something in your life to make sure that they were okay. It's the people that you bend over backwards for. It's the people that, you know, come to you with all their issues, and you know, confide in you, and you're their ear to listen to. You know, you do things for them that you don't even have to do. Like, you're not obligated. Like, I'm the first person to tell anyone, and I'm not obligated to do anything for anyone except for my 3 children. So if I do anything for anyone outside of my household, that's you know, me just looking out for you. That's out the kindness of my heart. But you can't do that for everyone. You know, you really need to reevaluate your circle, the people in your life, and ask yourself, am I giving more than what I'm receiving? Or is this a mutualistic and, you know, mutual beneficial relationship and connection? Because if it's not, you really need to get away from those people. They won't do anything for you. They won't add to your life. Anytime you have someone in your life and they're just taking and taking and taking, and you feel like it's not reciprocated equally, you all aren't on the same you know, part of the totem pole, as far as, you know, I'm doing for you, you're doing for me, or, you know, not even just like monetarily, but have you ever had a friend who only comes around when they want to, you know, express their disdain with their life or certain events that have occurred in their lives? That's draining. Get away from all draining spirits. I'm telling you guys, I prayed, I asked God, hey, remove everyone from my life. You know, give me that spirit of discernment to where I can decipher through the people who are supposed to be here as permanent fixtures within my life and the people who are seasonal. And I feel like we make the biggest mistake when we try to put those implications of and expectations of, you know, permanent people on temporary people. So pray and ask God for discernment. Ask God to only surround you with people who actually love you, people who don't tolerate you, they actually celebrate you. You want to be around good spirited people. You want to be around people who you feel like don't come around and drain your energy, who don't just call you with negativity. People who are here to uplift you, inspire you, motivate you, encourage you, because this journey of life comes with so many hills and valleys, and we really need solid people around us. So if you have any question in your mind, person may not need to be in a permanent space in my life. Get that out your mind. Ask God, hey, bring clarity to me. I need clarity. Again, he is the omniscient God. He sees everything. He knows everything. So that's your best friend, somebody who sees it all. He can protect you from the seen and the unseen. And so when I prayed and asked God from that, and when I always, pray and ask God for that, because I ask him probably like 2-3 times a year. And it's always like an immediate thing. Like I start seeing things I probably never saw. I feel like he just unreleases the veil from my eyes, and I can see things for what they really are. And you need that type of clarity, especially when it comes to, having people in your life and, having these connections with people. You need to make sure that they are people who God wants in your life. It's time out for people just being around just to be around. Like, God, I only want the people around me that you see fit to be around me. If they're not supposed to be around me, if I'm not supposed to have those connections, if they're not supposed to have access to me, if they're not a part of my journey, if they're only temporary fixtures within my life, remove them immediately. I'm telling you guys, I started seeing things, I started paying attention to things, and it brought clarity to me. And I hope that you all seek that and get that in your life too, because it is very important. You need to be aware of who you have around you, and you need to pray and ask God to, uphold those relationships. Like, seriously, it's so important, guys, and you'll feel better for it. It's a very liberating, experience, and I'm better for it. I always feel like I'm better for it. Hey, I got some people out of my life that didn't need to be there anyway. I'm better because of it. No ill feelings. You don't have to, degrade people or belittle people, talk bad about people or gossip about people just because you disconnect from people. Hey, it's a disconnection. It is what it is. I will survive. I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give up. So yeah, guys, pray always and stay covered. God got you. I promise. Moving into September, guys, September has been a crazy, tumultuous month. We've lost some of the greats. We lost my husband in my mind, Michael Jackson. We lost his older brother, Tito Jackson. He had a heart attack at the age of 70. So rest in peace, Tito Jackson. He was actually the reason behind the Jackson 5 even being orchestrated. If it wasn't for Tito Jackson stealing Joe Jackson's guitar, breaking it, pretty sure he got a little, beat down. But if it wasn't for his sacrifice, we never would have got Jackson 5. We never would have known that, they were a musically inclined family. And I never would have had the chance to listen to my husband, Michael Jackson. Oh my God. So thank you so much, Tito Jackson, for your sacrifices, for sneaking and getting your dad's guitar, because that one incident that you did catapulted your family into an amazing career. That is an amazingly gifted family that breeded Janet Jackson, that breeded the great Michael Jackson, who you all know is the GOAT in my heart and in many of your hearts too. I mean, I know y'all know greatness. That was a great family. So rest in peace, Tito Jackson. Rest in peace. Another death that took the black community by storm was Frankie Beverly. As you know, he was the Maze front man, and that was just crazy. I've been doing this man dance for the past week. I'm just so in my feelings that this man died. It's just crazy. Like, September has just been a very tumultuous month, and that's just the deaths of legends that we've had within the black community. That's not even considering all the other events that led after that. For example, the diddler, Diddy Combs. He was arrested by the feds on the night of Monday night, September 16th. And then it was released on Tuesday morning. They disclosed all of the sealed documents as far as why they were indicting him. This man is being charged with federal crimes of racketeering and sexual trafficking. Back in March, when they raided all 3 of his homes, they found so much evidence that they felt was conclusive enough to build up this case about this man. They said that he had video footage, over 250 cameras within his home, 1,000 bottles of baby oil, which people have been coming to the forefront saying it's not even baby oil. So y'all was talking about Johnson & Johnson. No, baby, this is deeper than that. They're saying that isn't baby oil at all, but actually liquid ecstasy. There have been women coming to the forefront saying that they, he would rub it on them and their bodies would start tingling, felt like they were being paralyzed, but they were encased in Johnson containers. So it makes you wonder, is Johnson a part of this as well? Like, did they know about it? It goes deeper than that. Diddy has been taken into custody. He's been denied bail, $50 million bail twice. And it makes me wonder, what do they know? Are they trying to make him talk? Diddy, if I were you, I would be snitching on everybody. Chuck E. Cheese, I am not playing no games. Any and every one that I saw in those tapes that I knew was, sexual trafficking, having sex with other women, baby, you are not in a position to try to be the hood hero. I know that goes against the hood, the hood formula, to rat and snitch, but baby, no. You have 6 children, one of which is 2 years old. You're not in a position to try to withhold any information. You should be very cooperative with the case. Furthermore, his children, they're saying that his sons were also a part of it. If you all remember, this past summer, his twin, Christian Combs, made a song alluding to the fact that the feds were checking the wrong homes, and that it was a family affair. Shortly after he made that song, another girl came to the forefront and said that she was partying with 2 of Diddy's older sons. They gave her a drink. She never saw him pour it. But after they poured it and she consumed it, it wasn't an alcohol high. She said it was like a whole body high. She felt like she wasn't alert and oriented anymore. It's just a lot. It goes really deep. I feel that Diddy may not see trial. I really feel like he won't. We have to take into consideration this man has been on top since the 90s. He has been in connection with the elites, the Bilderbergs, the politicians. I don't feel like it's just people within the entertainment industry. I feel like he's in connection with a lot of people who may not want him to stand trial. Think about the Jeffrey Epstein case. You remember when Jeffrey Epstein was put into jail, and this is the man who had the Epstein Island. He was in cahoots with Naomi Campbell and the Clintons. That man never lived to see trial. He allegedly committed suicide and hung himself in a cell, and there was no camera footage of anything. I don't want to put that on Diddy. I would hate for that to come into fruition, but I truly feel that that man is not going to live to see trial. He knows too much. He has too much documented. The feds are opening a separate federal investigation only based on the evidence that they found at his home. He had assault rifles, the liquid ecstasy. He had tapes upon tapes of video footage and coverage that could possibly have other people indicted by the feds. So this is definitely something that we're going to pay attention to. I really feel bad for those 6 children. And then he has like a little 2-year-old. That's why I feel like a lot of you men need to stop having babies when you're in your 50s. What's the point of having kids in your 50s as a man? Especially when you have all that type of stuff going on. His lawyer came and said that it should be taken into consideration the fact that Diddy has been very cooperative, with this investigation. He relocated from California to New York because he knew that they were coming for him. And it's just crazy. You can see it on the internet. Him and his sons are like walking into a building, and then the federal agents just walk by and be like, yeah, bro, you're gonna have to come with me. It's just so much. Like, it's mind-boggling for me. I really hate to see a black mogul and icons fall from grace like this. I know a lot of you haters love to see, black men, fall from grace and love to see this type of stuff. But it's really disheartening, in my opinion, because if they'll do that to him, there's no telling what they'll do to us. And we must keep in mind that a lot of these charges are alleged until he's been convicted. I think the only thing that we could say for sure is that he, did beat on Cassie, but everything else is up into the air until we know. But I also do know that the feds don't really come for you until they have a case built against you. So it's just a lot that's been going on with Diddy within this past year. But again, I really hope that he is alive to stand trial, because I'm looking forward to seeing the details of that unsealed case. So stay tuned to the diddler. Did he or did he not do it? Speaking of polarizing events and just dismaying events that have occurred in September, I feel like it would be very remiss of me if I didn't bring up the execution of Marcellus Scott Williams, who was a 55-year-old man from St. Louis, Missouri. He had been in jail and convicted of murdering Felicia Gale back in 1999. She was murdered August 11th of 1998. Someone broke into her home and she was there by herself. Her husband, Daniel, he said he left and she was at the house getting ready for her day. She heard someone breaking into her home. She went down the stairs. She was met at the stairs with the intruder. They stabbed her 43 times. When they found her on the scene, the knife was still protruding from her neck. All of these things, right? The thing that is the most polarizing for me with this case is that Marcellus Williams, though he may have seemed to be, the culprit, none of the DNA that was found on the scene connected him to that murder. And there was copious amounts of forensic evidence, and none of it led to that man. We know DNA is the end all be all. So how can you execute a man if it's reasonable doubt within the case? It's injustice. It's unfair. I like to write down notes, y'all. Yeah, I know I'm old school, so I took down a couple notes. So during the time Marcellus Williams was connected to the murder, he was serving a 20-year sentence for robbing a donut shop in Missouri. Well, his cellmate at the time, whose name is Henry Cole, got out. He said they saw that while they were locked up together, they saw a newscast about the investigation and a $10,000 reward. Well, when Henry Cole got out, he was locked up with Marcellus Williams from April of 1999 till June of 1999. May is when the $10,000 reward was posted. When he got out in June, he went there and said that Marcellus Williams confided in him and confessed that he was the person who murdered Felicia Gale. The police went and investigated his girlfriend, whose name is Laura Acera, and she was a sex worker and also on drugs. And so this just goes to show that both of their credibility was flawed. These weren't just very credible people, because each of them benefited from working with the authorities. The authorities went to Laura Acera and said, hey, if you are cooperative with this investigation, we will be able to basically erase a lot of your fines that you have pinned against you right now. And with Henry Cole, he was just trying to get the money. Well, it goes on to say that when Daniel, her husband, came to the house and he was, telling the authorities what was missing, her laptop was missing and her purse was missing. Her purse contained, her identifying, documents, and also her calculator and ruler. There was a calculator and ruler found in his glove compartment, and a man by the name of Glenn Roberts, authorities stated that Marcellus Williams sold him the laptop for $150 to $250. Keep in mind, this laptop was never confirmed that this was that woman's laptop. It's just a lot of weirdness around that. I feel like he was the easiest scapegoat for that situation because of his extensive criminal record. So fast forward to November 1999. Fast forward to June 15th of 2001. He was convicted with first degree murder, burglary, and robbery. In August 27 of 2001, he was sentenced to death. So it was just like really fast tracked, I feel. And got to keep in mind, none of the evidence on the scene led back to Marcellus Williams. In January 2015, he was supposed to die. Then he received a stay of execution. And also in August of 2017, they were supposed to execute him, and he also received another stay of execution. So it's just been a long going thing. I try to think about people, and he maintained his innocence throughout the entire time that he was incarcerated. I try to think about how the people feel on death row, like knowing that you're innocent, or feeling like you're innocent, maintaining your innocence, but knowing that at any day, any point, like, these people can come get you out of your cell and just murder you. That's crazy to me. Experts concluded that DNA found on the murder weapon belonged to an investigator and an assistant prosecuting attorney who had mishandled the evidence. This sounds like OJ kinda. I don't know, like mishandling murder weapons. I don't understand how people who are experts can do that. Like, if you are in this position and you care so much about it to the point where you're going to convict a black man, or any man really, but in this situation, I'm going to hone in on the fact that this is a black man, because we know Missouri racists. I'm sorry, I can't even sugarcoat it for you. It's like, in my opinion, if you're gonna do the death penalty for someone, there needs to be no contest of any evidence. You need to know for sure, because say for example, months from now they come back and they say, oh, we got a lead on some new information, and blah blah this and blah blah that. The man dead. There's no reversing death. Like, once he's gone forever. So I feel like in this situation, that man never should have been executed. I just don't care about that. And on social media, a lot of people have been championing for it. I feel like his case kind of got blurred and looked over because of all the other craziness that's been going on in the news as far as these celebrities and everything. I feel like we should have been paying more attention to Marcellus Williams, because this is a black man who got executed like right before our eyes, and there was so much reasonable doubt within that case that man never should have been murdered. Like, even if he is a criminal, he has a criminal history, it doesn't mean that he's a murderer either. Both of the things can be true at the same time. Hey, I can be a criminal, but I can also not be a murderer. It's just a lot of craziness. On August of 2024, prosecutors got him to accept an Alfred play, and the details of an Alfred play entail that you accept the consequences of the guilty verdict while simultaneously maintaining your innocence. And so he was looking forward to having the Alfred play. He wasn't going to be able to get out of jail. He was still going to be in jail for the rest of his life without the possibility of parole. That's what I need you all to understand. So it's not like he was trying to get out of prison. It's not like he was not trying to be accountable for anything. He maintained his innocence throughout his incarceration, and he's been incarcerated since 1999 for this situation alone. The Missouri Supreme Court blocked the plea bargain. And they were like, we're moving forward with this, whatever. And this is another thing. They moved forward with the execution even though there was a lawsuit posed against the entire investigation. Again, his family, prosecutors, and Gail's family, Felicia Gail's family, her husband, were asking the people to vacate the death penalty for this man. They were championing behind this man's innocence. And the Supreme Court in Missouri said, hell no, this black man about to die. And so, lo and behold, September 24th, 2024, Marcellus Williams, at the age of 55, was murdered. Very, very sad, very disheartening situation. I just feel like if someone is going to be murdered, there needs to be indisputable amounts of evidence leading to them. And there has been so many credibility flaws with Laura, his ex-girlfriend, and Henry, as to why they would be so cooperative with the feds, and if the feds were, leading them to say what they said. So it's a lot around that. It's just a very unfortunate situation. His son went on to be interviewed after his father's execution, and he said that his dad left. He was a very devout Muslim. His last words were, all praise be to Allah in every situation. It's just very disheartening. I hate hearing about stories like this. We just have to do better, people. That's a very crazy situation. The prosecuting attorney, again, they asked for the death penalty to be vacated for Marcellus Williams back in January of this year, and again, Supreme Court said no, we're not doing that. Even though there's no DNA evidence of this man being on the murder scene, we're still going to execute this man. Because why? Because we can. And do y'all think those people of the Supreme Court, you think they were red or blue? Who you think they voting for this November? They on the red side or the blue side? I'm gonna let y'all do your own investigation with that. It's crazy out here, y'all. We have to make sure that we're putting the right people in place that are going to care about our lives and look at things as a whole. You know, I feel like they killed that man and swept it on the rug. Crazy situation, y'all. But it's other crazy situations going on too in September. Number 2. Crazy. Vance County, Henderson. 21-year-old Javion McGee, truck driver, making money, live in suburban Chicago. Thousands of miles from some of his family, because his family was based in Chicago and Texas. This man went and did a drop-off. He dropped off a load in Walmart, and shortly after that, his family was like, we're not hearing from him. Like, nobody's heard from him. He's usually, he usually has like really great communication skills with the family. Like, we're always in touch with him. What's going on? They found this 21-year-old Javion McGee hanging from a tree with a rope around his neck. I'm gonna tell you something else. The sheriff is disputing lynching. I guess the sheriff doesn't understand the difference between, being lynched and, suicide, because they're trying to perpetuate this narrative that the man committed suicide. They're not even allowing the public to think for themselves and say, like, no, this is a lynching. There was a rope around this man. They get to myself, it wasn't a noose. It does not matter if it wasn't a noose. There was a rope around this man's neck in Henderson, Vance County, and the Vance County sheriff is urging people not to jump to conclusions. He's like, there was no lynching in this county. We don't do that like that. We talking about who did that. I feel like y'all need to focus on who murdered him. That was not suicide. He was happy, young, and making money. 21-year-old truck driver dropping off loads. He making money. His family said that he never showed any signs of any type of suicidal behavior. That's just not even how he got down. I just don't understand this. Like, thank God for social media. His cousin posted about it on TikTok. It gained nearly 3 million viewers. And, people have just been circulating this story over and over. And I really hope that justice is served for Javion McGee, 21 years old, such a young man. Just trying to work, make money. You dropped off a load at a local Walmart in Henderson. And then the next thing you know, it's a circulating story that you're lynched. It's crazy. And the sheriff also went on to say that he felt like there was no foul play. Like, that's crazy to me. Who would hang themselves by a tree? I don't believe that. I don't believe that. It's just a lot of craziness going on. That young man, I do not believe, no one is ever going to make me believe that young man hung himself by that tree and killed himself at 21 years old while he out working. That's nonsense. Y'all need to open up an investigation and do a better job, Vance County. And that sheriff, and it was a black man on there too. And I was like, oh my God. All skin folk, not kin folk. Like, he was just against any type of foul play. And I'm like, come on. Maybe you don't do that, but you can't speak for everyone in Vance County. Maybe that's not how you feel like things should be carried out, but someone did this to him. So we need to make sure that we're staying tuned to that story, because I want all justice served for Javion McGee. Gone too soon. Rest in peace. In another crazy story, luckily this person is still alive, but it's still a traumatizing story, to say the least. Liberal Arts College in Southern Pennsylvania, the college name is Gettysburg College. On September 6th, a meeting was conducted in a residence on campus, and a black student, he was on a swim team with other teammates, and he went to a meeting at a home there, and somehow one of his teammates etched a racial slur onto his body with a box cutter. He put NIGGER onto that black swim student's body. Crazy. The upperclassmen on the swim team, they reported it, and I'm happy that they did. And that student has since been expelled from the school. He's no longer enrolled at the school. And I'm gonna tell you something I don't like about this. I don't like the fact that there's a student that's no longer enrolled, allegedly, but he's not able to be, his identity is not able to be disclosed because of student privacy policies with the university. No, drop the policies. No, stop protecting these horrible people. That is a reprehensible act. How are you going to, I feel like that's protecting. His name needs to be on the news. This is a nationwide story. We need to know who the culprit is. Who sketched the N-word into that black swimmer's body? I want to know. And the fact that y'all trying to protect him, I can guarantee you guys, if the roles were reversed, we would have a name. I'm just telling y'all. I just know how people like to do. I know the politics behind it all. They will always protect their own. It does not even matter. And the parents, the family of the black swimmer who had the racial slur sketched into his body, said that this was a teammate that he was close to. This was not someone who he was just on the team with. Like, he had camaraderie with this guy. They were close. He deemed him as a friend. Remember what I said at the beginning of this podcast? Pray for the spirit of discernment so you can decipher through who is and who is not meant to be in your life. Everyone who claims to be a friend is not a friend. Friends do not carve nigger into your body. They don't do it. Any friend that does that, any person who does that is not a friend of yours, honey. It's crazy. And I don't like how they're just keeping him protected. Because in my opinion, I'm thinking, okay, we don't have a name. So he can just go to another college on another swim team and just carry out his racial bigotry, black student by black student. It's crazy. Bob Luliano, who is the president of Gettysburg College, wrote a statement. And he said, no matter the relationship and no matter the motivation, there is no place on this campus for words or actions that demean, degrade, or marginalize based on one's identity in history. And he also went on to say that the college chief diversity officer will be leading an effort to reflect on the incident and take concrete actions. We shall see. I'm one who isn't really big on words. I need to see actions. The first action I wanted to see was the name of that white swimmer that did that. So I don't see much action being taken. I don't see much action and effort, being taken place when it comes to that situation. I don't think they're going to do much. The family still has not filed any, police reports or anything, but they did file complaints with the local and state NAACP and the Pennsylvania Commission on Human Resources. Human Relations. So we'll see how that go. It's been a lot going on, y'all. And I don't know why. It seems like every election year, black people be catching hell. Black people be catching hell. Every election year, I feel like there's more reinforcement of just craziness, murder, disregard for black life. It's just a continuous cycle every election year. They out here murdering us. They're out here executing us, hiding under the guise of the law and justice. It's just a lot. I don't know. It's crazy, but that's what we have going on, y'all. I'm telling y'all, it's just so much going on. I hope that family actually does keep pursuing it, because another thing that bothered me with that entire swim team case in Gettysburg College is that the black student is suspended from the team until they perform a conduct review. What conduct review do you need to try to justify something? Like, it doesn't matter. I don't care what the black guy said. I don't care what the black guy did. Nothing will justify that white swimmer etching nigger into his body. Nothing. There should be no conduct review. If anything, you guys should be happy that the family isn't suing you guys. because I would push it to the full length. That is crazy to me. I hope they're putting all efforts into that investigation. Do not let him off easy, and y'all need to disclose. And now we're on to everybody's business. You guys, this week has been crazy. I know you all have tuned into the craziness with Cardi B and Offset, or like I like to call him these days, Upset, because he's obviously upset about his wife and her alleged infidelity while she's been pregnant. Now, I would never advocate for a woman to do anything while she was pregnant. I just feel like that's very distasteful. I feel like that's very undemure. I don't think it's mindful. I don't think it's cutesy. I think it's very nasty. But I also won't take anything Upset says for truth. I feel like I'll take anything he says with a grain of salt, because he has proven himself to be a habitual liar and cheater. So I don't trust cheaters. And if you lie to a woman that you put 3 babies inside of, and you will be outside at New York Fashion Week with a high yellow blonde hair confused woman, I don't trust you at all. You very distasteful on your own. And not to mention that, okay, you say your wife has been messing around, and I'm a girl's girl. I just don't think Cardi B is that type. People been saying, oh, she's a stripper, she was a stripper, blah blah blah. Okay, that may be true, but you are also the same people who will say people can change. And for the past 7 years, Cardi B ain't been on no stripper pose. So it is what it is with that. That woman came out and said that she has been faithful to this man for the past 7 years, and so I'm going to believe that this woman has been faithful to this man for the past 7 years, because all that we have seen as a whole is Offset, Upset indiscretions. He's been out here wilding out, cheating on this woman all the time. And this goes to show, I feel like we can take a lot, like, as a lesson from Cardi B and Upset's relationship. Women, for one, when you're dealing with a man who has children and he's no longer with the mother of those children, in Offset's case, he had multiple baby mamas and multiple children before he ever made Cardi B a mother, so she came into this situation being a stepmother. In those types of situations, you have to consider the fact that, hey, this man already has multiple children. So that lets me know that this man is okay with having broken homes. He's normalized it at this point. What makes me so special? Am I special, or am I just one of the women who took the bait? I feel like sometimes women be feeling like they got one up with these men who already have character flaws. Baby, you never will have one up on a woman with a man who's already a deviant. He's no good. And even though he's not showing you that he's no good right now, how someone is, their essence will surely unfold, and you will see that person for who they are. And I feel like Cardi B is seeing that with Offset. I truly do feel like he is. I was mad for her when he tweeted and said that he didn't want her. He was like, I don't want you. Everybody can see that I don't want you. You'll be calling me back in a couple months. You still my baby mama. I won. Oh my goodness. I said, Cardi B ain't got no $800. I see. I'm just playing, y'all. I would never advocate for her to do that. But still, it's crazy, guys. Like, what? And that's another thing. Like, I hate that for her, because I love for women to be wives. And, we're taught, get married, have your babies. But we're never taught how to deal with a husband that acts like that on a public platform. Like, you will attack your wife, bring forth, personal issues to a public platform when this woman has a following, this woman has a brand. It was just nonsense to me. It was very distasteful on both parts. I wish that she never would have even entertained it, because when two people are going back and forth, it's hard to dictate who the fool is. She should have just let him clown himself out and just, I done had my baby. Keep yourself gracious at all points. And I know that can be very hard, because even I have fallen victim to, going out of my character sometimes. But you never let people take you out of your character, especially when you have a brand and you're trying to work towards something, you're trying to do something. Cardi B, you got more money than him anyway. Like, girl, bye. Offset, Upset, get over yourself. You've been out here cheating. You a habitual cheater. You never should have even gotten into a relationship with her. You never should have married her if you knew you were not going to uphold the value of your vows. I feel like people just be getting married today just to do it. Like you said, you do everything for clout. They do everything for clout. No, you do everything for clout. Because I definitely feel like Cardi B helped make his brand excel. We cannot know. That's a crazy situation. Crazy situation. And it also goes to show that men will buy you certain things. She said that he's not really there emotionally. He always trying to buy her love, buy you things. You remember when she was performing, he came on stage, interrupting her performance, trying to dim in her shine, trying to apologize for being a cheater. And then years later, you still cheating. And this woman pregnant, carrying your child, having to file for divorce while she's pregnant with your third child. And it's really disheartening because she did it the right way. She had her husband, she had her kids, you know. But that's why I say you always have to consider who a man was and how he is before you even commit to that man. Again, he had multiple broken homes before he even created a home with you. So he normalized the abnormal. You know, it's not okay. We always have to look into stuff like that. And all the women that are messing with Offset, Upset, I hope you guys do not feel like y'all have a trophy. You do not got one up on her, because the same position that she's in, and she's more famous and more successful than a lot of you women, and she got more money than them. So you always got to consider that too. Like, if he'll do that to his wife, who's the mother of his last 3 children, what would he do to you? You're not special. You just took the bait, baby. Crazy situation. Cardi B, my thoughts go to you. I can only imagine what you're going through. A lot of people not even considering the fact that this woman just had a baby. She could possibly be going through postpartum depression, and then you got to deal with postpartum depression. You got to deal with all of these opinions about your marriage, your personal issues on a public platform, and you got to deal with an upset husband who acting real sassy. It's crazy. My thoughts and prayers go to you, girl. But like I'll say, I've said it once and I'll say it again. I said this months and months ago about Cardi B. You teach a man how to treat you. And once a person shows you who they truly are, which Offset has shown you, he's a cheater, manipulator, always trying to buy your love, and he's a liar. Once he showed you that he had those character flaws, you should have ran for the hills. You should have ran for the hills. We have to stop having babies with men who have not proven themselves to be loyal, to be committed, to be faithful, because that's going to create more broken homes, and we don't need any more broken homes, people. Let's do better. Another crazy situation that occurred during September: New York Mayor Eric Adams was taken into custody by federal agents for federal corruption charge allegations. They said that this man was doing bribery for his political influence in Turkey. He was taking money up to $100,000 for his political influence with Turkey. Fraud. He is being charged with 5 felony counts. That's crazy to me. Not the man that was giving these immigrants all this money, these payphones, these stipends, while all these black people in New York broke, no place to have for shelter, hungry, struggling. This is the man, New York Mayor Eric Adams. You know, it's crazy. The federal agent seized his chief advisor's cell phones. They didn't seize his passports or anything like that. I guess they don't expect him to try to flee. But thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Grade A Talks. I hope you all were entertained. I hope you all left enlightened. I hope you all remain vigilant, aware of the world around you, and interested to seek more information about the world around you. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment. I would love to hear what you all have to talk about. I love engaging with you guys. Have a great day. Peace.